Hi guys, Linda here. I'm in the Oregon Willamette Valley and yeah, these are ready for some wine, but that's not why we're here today. We're here for that. We're at the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like us and subscribe, and make sure so you know every time we upload a new video, hit that notification bell too. The Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum is in McMinnville, Oregon. Definitely worth the trip for this unique swirl out of California swirls. Respect for history, innovation, service, and sacrifice for country reside here, and we were greeted by veterans who continue to donate their time to this distinctive museum.
Welcome to Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. My name's Joe. Feel free.
We began our day here with the museum's crown jewel, the Hercules, otherwise known as the Spruce Goose. It presides over the entire building from wingtip to wingtip and tail to nose. Heading up to the flight deck many stories up was the first order of business. Climbing the spiral steps to the flight deck, I couldn't wait to be where the reporters sat and where Howard Hughes himself and his crew experienced that flight of this massive plane.
So the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum complex here, it has 3 buildings. One of them in the middle is an IMAX theater, but the 2 outer buildings, one is the Space Museum and one is the Aviation Museum. Now when you're walking around inside the Aviation Museum, this Spruce Goose fills up the entire building. You're walking under its wings, no matter where you are in the building. It's that massive. You have planes, bombers. You wouldn't believe how big some of the planes look until you see them next to the Spruce Goose and under the wings of this Hercules. There's also a 4th building, and it is a water park.
The best thing about these water slides is that they begin from a 747 perched on the top of the building.
I am sitting right where Howard Hughes himself sat on the one and only flight in Long Beach of the Hercules, otherwise known as the Spruce Goose. And this is an amazing feeling to be up here in this cockpit on the flight deck of the Hercules. This is the crown jewel of the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum complex. What a treat this is. We got to explore some amazing areas in this Hercules. Right now, I'm in the starboard wing of this amazing plane. It's a little creaky. It's a little hard to get through, but it works. You hear that? Listen. Yeah.
John, the executive director, shared some details about himself and the museum.
So tell me a little bit about how you came to be in the position you're in here at the museum currently.
So I've been involved with the museum since 1996. In 2002, I was allowed, they asked me to be on the board. And so I was on the board up until 6 years ago. I was the board president for 6 years. And then I retired from my military job and thought I want to come out here and be a docent and talk about airplanes. That lasted for 4 months because the person that was the executive director here found another job, and so I made the mistake of raising my hand and saying I would help. It was supposed to be a 4 to 6 month job, and I'll be going on 2.5 years come this November.
Can you tell me why a busload of kids would want to come here to this museum complex?
You can look at things on the internet, you can look at things in books, but to see it for real is a whole different experience. Here you can see a replica of the Wright Flyer that started powered aviation back in 1903, all the way through a Titan II rocket in a silo over in the next building. So you can see everything in between, all the aviation innovations, the space innovations, everything that's happened right in the buildings here. You don't have to travel to a bunch of museums, it's all right here. 18 years ago, we ended up, got a phone call, and folks said, hey, we think we got a bunch of your stuff. And we go, what do you mean you got a bunch of our stuff? And they go, well, it says Flying Boat on it. So, and it was from a warehouse down in Las Vegas. But there was a bunch of crates that had glass plates like this in it. Howard figured out that blueprints would fade. So what he did was they put Indian ink on one of those plates, and then he would draw it to scale. But there was a whole bunch of plates that looked like donuts. So he needed some way to simplify the production process. So he figured out that if you did the same thing with a glass plate, put it in a light box with a bulb behind it, ran it 40 feet up in the air, it was exactly the same size as on the ground that you needed it to be. And they would put down paper and they would trace. The donuts were every one of those formers going all the way back, because not a single one of them is the same.
Anybody who loves aviation would absolutely love to come enjoy this place. This is an amazing place. Hi. Well, it looks like you're enjoying yourself here.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing here at the museum?
I think it was a tie between seeing the Spruce Goose and the Blackbird.
Absolutely. I completely agree. 100%.
Hello! Captain Simmons! You in there? Captain Simmons! Are you up there? I don't think Captain Simmons is here, but I think everybody should come to this place.
Kids also have a fun playground to enjoy, and it's themed for space. We made our way to the Space Museum and were met with timelines of the origins of space innovation, launches, and travel. Honoring those who made space exploration possible is smartly displayed in the exhibits here. The building is huge, with so much that is hands-on and interactive.
So you Star Trek fans will get this? We want to be alone now.
It's humbling to be able to touch things that were actually in space. The length of the Titan IV guides your gaze down its endless sides. Early jet fighters from the past. And here's one still in service. A-10 Thunderbolt II, Tank Buster, Warthog. Beluga? Drone.
The SR-71 Blackbird spy plane, 2,200 miles an hour.
We came in for a landing at the museum store. Here you can find items impossible to find anywhere else. Items for kids and adults. Of course, the bottles of Pinot drew my eye, knowing that there were 50 acres of vineyards right outside. with the Pinot grapes getting very close to harvest.
So I'm here with Ariana today in the beautiful Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. This is the wine and beer garden that we're sitting in right now, and there are some fantastic hamburgers getting made in the background. The smell is just wonderful, but we are talking today about the wine and this beautiful Pinot Noir in wine country here in Willamette Valley, famous for their fantastic Pinots.
Oh yeah, Pinot country.
Tell us a little bit about the wine and about chemistry here.
So we acquired the wine through Stoller Group. Chemistry is one of their newest lines. It's a 2018 Pinot Noir that's just lovely with a good burger. And then we also have canned Oregon wines through the Stoller Group as well, which is huge right now, canned wines. It's perfect for a barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, very thankful for them.
And the beach, I think, you know, keeping the glass off the beaches.
Right down the street, you know?
That's right, that's right. So definitely bring your little bubbly wines out to the beach and out to the barbecue. So tell me about the vineyards around here in the Willamette Valley.
There's a lot of them. We also have the best soil in the country, though. So the vines just thrive in, you know, McMinnville and Willamette Valley, and on property we actually have 50 acres of vines just as a campus.
Wow.
It's kind of a hub where you can take a break from sipping wine at a tasting room, but also enjoy wine while you're looking at aircraft and spaceships.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely. Different varietals, mostly Pinots?
Mostly Pinots.
Yes?
Yeah, Pinots thrive here. We'll see as the climate gets a little warmer, I think that our varietals will change.
Yeah.
But for the time being, it's all Pinot Noir.
Back to the Aviation Museum's interior, we wanted to take a trip through history, beginning with a fun Wright Brothers display and a perfect replica of Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis.
I love these wonderful racers, but you know, if you want to learn more about them, you need to come here yourself and learn about them. Look at this little cute one right here. I wonder who Marilyn is. Go Air Force.
I admired the lines of a Korean War-era fighter. I was blown away by the PBY Catalina. This plane is responsible for rescuing the survivors of the USS Indianapolis. Motors and engines and propellers, oh my.
This is the first jet plane to enter World War II. If it had entered the war 6 months earlier, it could have changed the course of the whole war. Russian MiG. So guys, this is the F-4C Phantom II. In Vietnam, in a dogfight, if you engage with one of these babies, good luck. It's a very menacing airplane. I just made a new friend, Jim.
Yeah.
Tell us how you're associated with the DC-3.
Well, I was associated with it when I was in the Navy. It was called an R-4D, not a DC-3, but it's an identical airplane with very few differences. There's a navigational perch on the top of the airplane that the Navy required, and all of the armed forces airplanes acquired. And I flew in it in Vietnam and out of Point Mugu, California, and all over the southern part of the United States.
Jim escorted me into the interior of his plane, and I made my way up to the cockpit.
So thanks for joining us today at the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum.